Alrighty, what's going on, guys? I don't have my normal intro ready. We just finished the Toronto LAN here. Things just wrapped up. Deathy and his team just cleaned up. Unsurprising, and Sorin did a fantastic job on the interviews. Really impressive. So, number one thing I just want to say is thank you so much for actually getting this done, dude. Like, you were talking on your stream about people flying in, and me and Sorin are those people who you were looking out for, so we very much appreciate that. But yeah, I just wanted to ask, how did this all kind of go? Obviously, it's a very long story, and so if you can give maybe a quick couple of minutes on how you got involved initially, and then how it kind of wound up in your hands.
Yeah, so it's actually kind of a funny story. I'll do mostly the funny parts, and I'm going to try to avoid most of the negative stuff and for my video. But basically, I heard about this LAN. So this LAN had terrible marketing, obviously, and so nobody knew about it until I knew about it, and then I made a bunch of people aware of it. But the way that I learned about it is I messaged Vegas, which is a member of Hydra Nation, for those that don't know him, about the Death Slam Invitational to ask him if Hydra Nation wanted to participate in our tournament. And then he said yes. And then he said, oh, by the way, I think AVG and Rokane are going to this in 2 weeks. And I was like, oh, really? I was like, I've never heard of this. And there's yeah, it's a Toronto LAN. I was like, okay. So I check out the event page. I'm like, okay, $2,000 prize pool. I talk about it with, Ref and Daniel, my co-founders for Death Slam. And Ref basically right away tells me yeah, this guy's definitely a red flag. So if you go, just be careful. So right away, Ref knew. And
super cool guy, by the way.
Yeah,
Met him today. Super cool dude.
Yeah. So right away he knew, and I was like, yeah, that's a fair point. I'm like, I'm not gonna make any I said I'm gonna book everything refundable, and then I started talking, and I asked Prince, the organizer, hey, how many teams do you need for this event to happen? Because what I thought was gonna happen is there wasn't gonna be as much interest as expected, and so he was gonna cancel. That was my initial thought. But then he was like, even if there's 2 teams, even if there's only 2 teams, I'm not gonna cancel. And so I'm like, well, I know UFT is signing up, and I can make a team. And so I'm like, okay, so I can guarantee 2 teams. And he promised me he wouldn't cancel if there's 2 teams. So now we all know how that turned out. But that's essentially how that thing started. And I told everyone on my team to book everything refundable, just in case. But anyway, by the time, with the time frame that he canceled it, even I wouldn't have been able to refund anything because it was canceled too last minute, which is the crazy part. Yeah. Because usually, even if you book things fully refundable, you need to give 24 hours notice.
All this cancellation stuff literally happened while I was already in Toronto. Yeah. Deathy was saving. Yeah, literally. Deathy was saving NA Deadlock while I was walking around Toronto without cell service, eating pizza.
Yeah, so. you were living life. And then I'm sure for you. I mean, I guess I want to hear your perspectives. How did you guys live it as people that? Sorin, I don't think you were in Toronto at that time, but you obviously had booked accommodation, ticket, whatever. And you were already here, so you were here no matter what. So how did you guys live that?
Yeah, so for me, it was a little, kind of a strange story, or kind of a windy road a little bit, because I originally heard about it from your stream, honestly, because I saw the exclamation point LAN, and I was like, oh, okay, so Deathy's going to this. It sounds interesting. So I had started talking to the guy because he had put on the Eventbrite that he was looking for people to work it and stuff, and I was like, oh, this sounds like a really awesome way to just get involved with the community. And so I hit him up just see what was going on. We had a video call, and he seemed like a totally normal dude. It's funny how they do. But he then on Friday, basically, about 2 days, I'm asking him, do you need any help? And it seems like a lot of people were asking him this, we can help you out, dude. We can do this tournament for you. And just kind of kept blowing us all off, being yeah, we're working on it, we're working on it, we're working on it. And then, honestly, when you said that you were cool to do this podcast, that's when I booked all my stuff, because I was like, okay, this will, at least if the tournament falls through, I can do this. And then I started exploring Toronto once I got here. I'm American, so I don't have cell service, and I was just kind of exploring the city, and I came back, and I had a message from you saying, hey, I saved the LAN, but don't worry. I'll see you there. It's going on.
Yeah, so from my perspective, 2-3 weeks ago, I also heard about it from Deathy's stream, so he really was the thing that made this blow up, and I've been trying to get into doing casting for Deadlock. I've been doing DSL and everywhere else that I can just find that kind of work, because I've had a really great time doing it. The last 3 months, this has been the highlight of it. And so I messaged this guy thinking, hey, this is going to be a really professional thing. This is, this could be big.
Because we had weeks to do, we were like, okay, you'll help us out, or we'll help you out. We have weeks leading up to this. And then,
yeah, and then like we had the video call. As you said, he seemed totally normal. So I was like, okay, this is fine. He seems like he's maybe doing a little much, but okay, I've seen worse. And I was not as smart. I didn't book my stuff refundable. So as soon as I got the call that's saying, hey, yeah, you're good to come to the LAN, we'll have you as a caster there. And I booked my tickets from Florida up to Toronto. It's not incredibly cheap, including accommodations and stuff. So, but that's all right. I did it willingly. And then like 2 days beforehand, so the online qualifiers were Friday, about like Wednesday morning, I'm trying to talk with him about like stuff that I need to do my casting work, like what's the format, what teams are involved, all that sort of stuff, and he just doesn't have answers. So he messages me saying, hey, you seem like you're a detail guy. Can you work out the format and the rules for all this and send that to me?
Detail guy.
What does
At
that
this
even
point-
mean?
But because I like knew what I was asking about, and he picked that up and said, you seem knowledgeable, just do this for me, and I'll comp your plane ticket. And I was like, well, okay, if he actually does that, it's like $300 that he's paying me to do this, a couple hours work. Sure. So I read up the format and the rules and everything, pretty standard, like, don't be a jerk and don't cheat sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And like Friday morning, he starts becoming completely frantic and breaking down, as you all saw. And we get to, like, throughout the day, we're slowly realizing more and more stuff that we can't do as we find out exactly how incompetent this was all set up. And finally, at like 4:45, with the matches set to begin in 15 minutes, he just like completely ghosts. He stops responding to anything. I tried Discord calling him. I tried getting in touch with him every way that I knew how. He just wasn't picking up. So finally, like 5 minutes after start time, there'd been all of the team captains who posted in the Discord like, hey, we're here. What's going on? And so that was how I got the people to contact and say, all right, I'm doing this myself now. I don't care what this guy thinks because he's clearly not up to the task. And I just put together the matches myself. And it was a little scuffed, but like it's not terribly hard to get 3 teams to play a couple games of Deadlock. And of course, because I wrote the rules, I knew how that was supposed to go.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be honest. It's actually like, logistically speaking, it's actually an incredibly simple event to run. Like, the hardest part of this event is production, because the venue is not hard, and like getting the rule book, the format, like there's a bunch of standards. So you can literally copy paste a rule book from any other Deadlock tournament, make some small modifications if you need to, and you'll be good. Like people have already done this. So rule book is easy, doing a format is easy, brackets is easy, qualifier is easy. Marketing, I mean, as long as you know anything about marketing, like you could literally just like pay a streamer like $100 to just talk about your tournament, and everyone in the Deadlock community will know about it soon enough, because like everyone wants to do things.
It's
a pretty small
first
community.
LAN.
Yeah, exactly. So like the event sells itself. So everything about it is literally as easy as you could ask for, except production. Production is the hard part in the sense that you need like a visual package. You need like, if you want to do it real professional. But if you guys remember my first Death Slam event, I did everything myself on OBS. Like I was the caster, the TO, I was the coach. I basically did everything, and it was fine, and it still had good viewership, because at the end of the day, even if it's a little scuffed, people are excited about things. So he could have done that too. But anyway, it was super easy. But were you like, once you started like on Friday night, like once he completely ghosted and you got the matches going or whatever, like how did you learn about the cancellation? Do you remember?
He just messaged me like while I was spectating the matches, making sure that I could record down the results and everything.
Yeah.
He just messaged me. He finally, like his first couple of messages back responding to me after I was frantically texting him, he just said, just like, shut it down, shut down the stream. I wasn't streaming, and it's canceled. It's all over. Blah,
Like
blah,
Gordon
blah, blah.
Ramsay walking into a kitchen.
Fucking raw.
John Taffer, shut it down.
Where's the production graphics?
That's literally what he said.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I mean, so I'm curious, like, how do you feel like I feel like it honestly like went pretty spectacularly. Like we had a few tech issues starting, but like from where for 2 days, shout out to the Death Slam crew for like pulling it all together in 2 days. I mean, like you said, the production, but I feel like it went pretty, for what we had, pretty flawlessly.
Yeah, because what we had that this guy didn't have was we had the infrastructure. Like we've done Death Slam events multiple times. We've done tournaments and the Death Slam League. Like we had all of the art and the production and the people lined up, and he just didn't have any of that and didn't have the knowledge of how to run events to know to set that up.
Yeah, I think he is actually like, he was like willingly negligent. Like he's definitely like, he's canceled other events in the past, and that's why Ref right away told me like, yeah, this guy's sketch, by the way. His other events were a lot smaller and stuff, and they were like watch parties, and he canceled them. My kind of take on this guy was essentially that he was canceling things because he couldn't get people interested because his events sucked. That was my understanding. And because he was doing like, who the fuck cares about like a random watch party? It was like shitty watch party events, like random places that were like out of town, and like, you know, how are you going to get gamers interested for that?
There was supposed to be like a second venue for this.
Yeah, there was
like
supposed to be a second
spin
venue for this
something.
because basically like he started freaking out and wanting to do a bunch of things once, because like basically I told him, hey, you know, originally I was talking to him and I was like, hey, I'll talk about your LAN on stream, but I was like, can I get some free spectator tickets? Because I was like, you know, I'm not gonna make my wife and her friend pay to come here if I'm gonna shout out like everything you do for. And basically, the spectator tickets were $10, so it wasn't really about the money. It was more about like, hey, I do something for you, you do something for me. I felt it was reasonable. Like basically, it cost him $20, I guess, for the promotion, which is like a complete joke, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, if I do sponsors, it's a lot more than that.
Yeah.
Usually, so it's not $20. But anyway, I was doing him a favor because I'm like, hey, what you're doing is cool at the end of the day, and I think a lot of people felt that way. But then once I did the one stream, right, he showed me his like Eventbrite like views, and it was like insane spike in like one day, right? And he started like freaking out, and like not freaking out in a bad way, but like, you know, being like, oh, we need to do this, we need to do like an after party watch. Like he was basically like just, oh, we need to do everything because now we have so much interest in this, you know. And I was basically like, I don't think people care about these things. Like most things that he said, I was like, I don't really think this needs to be done. And like every time he would ask me for advice, I'd basically tell him not to do that, and he would be like, well, I think it's cool. I'd be like, all right.
This exchange happened like 5 times when I was going over the rules doc with him. Me, hey, here's how I think we should do this. This is how it's been done in the past. This is what works. Him, I think we should change it this way. Me, I think that's a really bad idea. Here's why. Him, no, don't worry about it. There's a reason for it. Go ahead and do it. Me, all right, it's your tournament, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people were like, it's your tournament, which it was until it wasn't. And then the moment it didn't become his tournament anymore. Now, the crazy part, like, obviously, I scrapped everything that was stupid about the tournament, right? Like, no disrespect to the comedian, the other venue, the after party. Like, people, if they want to hang out, they can just go to a bar nearby. It's chill, you know? So I scrapped everything that, in my opinion, didn't matter to the event. Obviously, I wanted to run it as lean as possible because I wanted the maximum amount of budget to go to people and not to, like, dumb, you know, expenses. Like, he had like a bar service that was going to cost $1,800.
There's a liquor store right down the street. I was there a
just
couple
go buy
days
a beer.
ago.
Like, go buy a no-name beer. And we got the T-shirt, you know. So,
Dude, I mean, it was just an absolutely insane story. And I mean, like, it's kind of fitting, though, for the first Deadlock LAN that it is an eventful event, to say the least. I am curious, though, how did it actually feel playing on LAN as opposed to, like, a normal stream?
Yeah.
Or, like, your 90 ping EU games that you're playing now?
Yeah, I mean, I play on EU pretty often nowadays, so I'm used to, like, high ping. So it definitely felt, like, really snappy. Obviously, it wasn't, like, actually on a LAN server, but we're all on the same ping, so there's no, like, ping disadvantage for denies or anything like that. So even though it's not quite LAN, you can get, you know, we're on pretty low ping. I think we were on, like, 20-ish ping for everyone. So the internet was quite good. The thing that felt most different was just, like, playing with a bunch of people around you, like having the crowd noise, like you can't hear that well. Like I'm like, Abrams is punching me, like I didn't even hear his punch, you know. Yeah. So I probably look like a noob, like not parrying at all. But it's like I didn't even hear him punch. Like I have no idea.
I saw someone like viscous puddle punching, and I was like, oh, it's nice that the pros missed that too. But now you saying that,
yeah,
oh no,
you
just
can't
hear.
Hear. There's no way you can hear the viscous puddle punch that well. Like unless you want your ears like blown off by like the high volume. Obviously, we don't have like actual noise canceling headsets either, so. You know,
I hope people like really like the people who did attend this really appreciate just like how unique an experience it actually was, because I think we're all in the camp of like believing that Deadlock is going to be a huge game, huge esport, where it's like you're not going to be able to just walk behind Deathy to go get pizza, you know, from the next room over or something. And so.
Well, I mean, I'd like to think I'm going to stay approachable no matter what. Like even let's say that I blow up, you know, I mean, if Deadlock blows up, there's obviously a decent chance that I blow up too. I put myself in a position, I think it's not egoistic to say this, but it's like quite likely, you know, a lot of people, like pretty much most people that play Deadlock know me, even in like the Russian community, even the CIS community knows me. So, but like I'd like to think that I'll stay like very approachable. And like for example, I signed like yesterday I came to the venue to check it out before the event today, and there was this player Stardust here, and they play Deadlock, and they asked me to sign their headset. That was like a really surreal, like that was my first like
Deathy
signing thing. And so that was like really surreal of like, okay, there's a Deadlock player here and they know me. Yeah,
I saw the headset today. Met it's been so cool to just meet so many people in the community. And I mean, like I'm totally with you, but it's just like, just the fact that like you can be like right up on the pros while they're playing the game and just like interact with them in between, and like people are like drafting and like making jokes with the players and stuff, and it was such a fantastic like little opportunity that we just all got to take advantage of. And thanks, I guess, to Prince for backing out, and so that we could have a good time.
You know, life definitely finds a way, in the sense that at the end of the day, it is kind of Prince's fault that we're here. Now, obviously, you know, it's what he did is very bad, but you know, it did make it happen. Like, it would be a lie to say that this would have happened without him. So I guess he can have that, because this would not have happened without him. But more importantly, this would not have happened without the community. And also, I guess a lot of people like are thanking me for saving the event or whatever. But at the end of the day, when these kinds of things happen, or like when Deadlock's in a bit of a rut, or all these things, right? I kind of feel like when you're a content creator, you're put in a position where you can do things that other people can't do. For example, with the Death Slam event stuff, realistically, not a lot of other people in the community could run the Death Slam event stuff without me as like the figurehead, because I bring in a lot of visibility, and I bring in like, you know, the cloud, I guess, and all that stuff. And it's like, without a content creator, Death Slam events would not have succeeded, realistically speaking.
Absolutely.
And I don't think this is, once again, I'm trying to make sure that I don't come off as like better than other people or anything, but I just want to say that I think more content creators should use their positions for good, and that's, I want to make sure that I do that, basically. Yeah, I mean, it's okay. Like, you're growing obviously with Deadlock, but like, you know, when I was in your relative size or whatever, like, I didn't consider myself like a full blown content creator yet. You know, but,
absolutely.
I mean, obviously your growth has been good. How do you feel about your growth?
Oh, I feel. I'm taken aback by I've watched so many. Like, I'm maybe the biggest consumer of Deadlock podcasts, and I think Deathy usually gets about 20 minutes in before he just starts asking all the questions, which I love, and it's so awesome to actually just like be in a room together. But yeah, I mean, I'm thrilled. Like, I was talking with Zephyr, your buddy, about this. Super cool dude, and it's awesome to like be an active member of the community, you know, and like actually just like be an active member and like say hi to people and give something back that like I feel like people are taking.
Like, some people knew you'd be here. You know, how does that feel? Like, in the sense that you're not just like, I mean, even for Sorin or whatever. Like, I don't know what your gaming background is. We can talk about that in a little bit if you want. But you know, for me, I mean, I guess I want to know how you guys experience it when it's like, you know, if you didn't come from a place where you were known, and then you go to an event and some people are like looking for you at that event. Isn't that kind of crazy? Yeah,
it's been very strange. It's been like the past month I've really noticed it, where now like I actually changed my Steam name for a little while, because like I just like, sometimes there's people that you really want to yell at in the game because they're doing some dumb stuff, and I don't want to be associated with that. And so like it's been fantastic. I love it. It's something that I just like actually like. I went to school for video production, and so this is something that like I actually identify with. And so to be able to combine, like, you know, I work in broadcast now, so to be able to combine like my passion for video and my passion for video games, it's like those are the two things in my life that I keep coming back to. So to be able to actually identify that with that is just awesome and such a privilege, and I love it. But yeah, it's killer.
That's good. What about you? Where'd you come from? I don't even remember.
So I came into Deadlock basically from Overwatch. Like, I was an Overwatch player.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah, same. But I always like enjoyed the strategy side of Overwatch. I'm a tank main, so the macro game was always my focus, and I really enjoyed that part. And I knew that a MOBA would be more like that.
Yes.
But frankly, I was intimidated by like League and its 50 hero roster. So I heard about Deadlock, and it was really cool. You know, like kind of an in between of those
League
two.
has more like 180 heroes.
Sure. That shows how much I know.
Yeah. Can I jump in real quick? How many heroes do you want Deadlock to actually have, both you guys? Like, in a perfect world.
I have no idea, because, as I said,
like, would you like it to get up to like that 180 type number? Or
not 180. I feel like I would be intimidated by that. Like 50 would probably be a good number for me.
Cool.
Are we talking like 10 years down the road? Are we talking like right now, or like?
Let's say when the game goes to open beta / release, because that's like
obviously we don't know like whether Valve will just go straight into a release or an open beta. I think most people are thinking that they'll follow the Dota model, because Dota kind of started a little bit similar to this in the sense that they had a private beta, and then they had an open beta, and then basically that was it. The open beta essentially was the release, right? For all intents and purposes, other than like, I mean, hell, in the files it's still called Dota 2 beta.
Yeah, I mean, I subscribe to the dead air theory of you can play it on the Steam page. You
Yeah.
don't need to get invited. Anything.
I
like
agree.
that.
Once you don't need to get invited anymore, that's when it's released, in my opinion. So I think for that time, I think, in my opinion, an ideal number would be around 50. I agree. I think the minimum number would be somewhere between 35 to 40. Basically, you need enough heroes that you don't see the same heroes every game all the time. Like, you're going to see the meta heroes or whatever, but right now, there's not enough variety, and I think that contributes to a lot of burnout for players like myself that have put thousands of hours. It's like, you're just going to see the same heroes every game all the time. There's not a lot of variety. It's just, the heroes with the really high pick rates, like there's always an Infernus, there's always a Lash, there's always this hero, there's always that hero. Every single game. Like, some heroes have 80% pick rates. Like, that is unheard of in other MOBAs, right?
Really? Wow. Yeah. So like, this is like, I'm coming in. This is my first MOBA.
Yeah.
I'm like mainly just play Counter-Strike in high school and college with my buddies. So it was like, I thought there were a lot of heroes when I started playing the game before Mirage was even in. And so just to see like where we've been going to has been just killer. I love that stuff. And I do have a couple of questions for you guys about the patch in general.
Yeah.
And some experience on that is, how do you guys, number one, the rejuve is the giant one. And now you've played with it in a little bit more of a competitive environment. How are you guys feeling on that? Deathy.
I'll let you answer first, because I have my thoughts on the rejuve, and I don't want to, as the more experienced players, I don't want to influence your thoughts.
Okay.
So I'll let you answer, and then
So for context, I'm like Phantom 3 or so I don't exactly have an expert opinion, but I try to think analytically about the game, because of course I am an analyst for like DSL and other things. I've only had a couple games on the patch, but I've watched, obviously this tournament and a couple others. So I feel like I don't like the rejuve change a whole lot. I liked how it was before, although I think there could have been some changes. I just don't think that this was particularly it. I don't like how...
we're still in an active game zone.
Yeah, you guys probably didn't hear that, but there's a guy that was like, one pushed up.
I think that, frankly, rejuve is not that great right now. I think that most of the time, if you're losing a fight, it's because you're mispositioned, and having a revive helps with that. But like, if you get bebop hooked into a 6-man squad and you die, a refresh of your health bar is not going to help with that a whole lot. You're still out of position. You haven't reset from that at all. And so, yes, you get the buffs, and I think that's the main part of, like, the main benefit to it. You get the stats buffs, which are huge, but then the soul rebirth essentially is not as good. We saw some value from it today, but usually when people died with rejuve, they just died again immediately after.
That's one thing that like does kind of annoy me with rejuve, and then like even going back to soul rebirth, is that like you die and then everybody just kind of stands there and waits for you to come back. And maybe that's a little bit different from how you guys see it as, but down in my lowly dirt emissary games, that's how we're playing it.
So the funny thing is, from a high-level perspective, current rejuve is OP compared to previous rejuve. And almost everybody that I've spoken to, maybe it's not as, like, a previous rejuve was very, very strong, but like, they nerfed current rejuve, like from 7 to 5 minutes, and a lot of high-level players, their biggest complaint with the patch was like, this rejuve is like way too strong. And a lot of lower ranked players, like in my YouTube video, in the comments, I'd read like people were like, this rejuve is useless, like it's not that good, you get a second life, who cares, you just die again, all that stuff. And it's really just different.
Just said that.
Exactly, like you guys both say that, and it's not really that you're wrong, it's just that you're playing a different game.
Yeah,
like,
literally.
It's and I don't mean this in a bad way or whatever, it's just the game is so drastically different at like even just the Phantom rank compared to like the Eternus 6 games, especially like the EU Eternus 6 games. It's just not the same game at all. And so at a high level, having 3 people and even 4 people have a second life, it essentially means so you can't lose a fight. Like it's just impossible to lose a fight. Like, it's just not possible. So it's very, very strong in my opinion. Okay, so I think that I don't think that they've hit the perfect note. So I agree. Like, I think that there's too many people that are unhappy with it for it to be the perfect solution. So I don't think it's the perfect solution. However, I'll say what I like and what I don't like. What I like about it is the fact that it removes the Mega Troopers. The Mega Troopers being tied to rejuve, in my opinion, one problem with previous rejuve, and now I know some people like this, so maybe you guys like this part, but the problem is that it was too much of a coin flip, like of like stealing the rejuve. Like stealing the rejuve had like way too much power, where like it was worth it to go in 1v6 just to try to like cheese the rejuve. And coming from Dota, it's like people almost never go for like the 1v6 like Aegis steal, which is the equivalent. And I was just kind of like, this feels wrong, where if you just don't have a good mid-boss secure comp, even if you're up, you could just get coin flipped at a mid-boss fight and just like get unlucky or like mess up a little bit, lose the rejuve, and then all of a sudden the entire game was flipped on you.
One thing you said there that I find really interesting that like I completely agree with is too many people think that it's wrong for it to be the right solution, and it's like I think that it's like not paraphrasing, but it's just like I think that that's such a like we're playing this game to have fun at the end of the day, and if people aren't like enjoying the actual like gameplay loop, it doesn't really matter if it's better for competitiveness or whatever. It's like at the end of the day, we need people to be having fun when we're playing.
And I can almost guarantee that they do care about the experience for the average player. Like the way that they've balanced, to me, it's very clear that they're obviously, you know, like I do think that they are balancing the game for a higher level of play as far as like balancing the numbers and the heroes. But I think that some balanced decisions that they make, you can almost like see like, okay, they're doing this like almost exclusively for like the mid ranks. You know? Like sometimes they'll just take down a hero even if it's not that OP, but it's like OP in the
McGinnis.
Yeah, McGinnis. I mean, I'm a fervent McGinnis hater as well. So you know,
this guy.
Yeah,
McGinnis one trick, by the way.
You're McGinnis one trick.
Shout out McGinnis.
You went from Overwatch to play this game, and you play McGinnis
because she has wall. Like I've used May wall in Overwatch and know how overpowered.
I thought you were about
that
to tell
is.
me you played Torbjorn.
No.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
You know, I played. You know what's funny? You guys know Mangachu from Overwatch?
Yeah.
I actually don't. I haven't played any of them.
He was like top Canadian player or whatever. He played TF2 before. I've known him for a really, really long time. So when Deadlock first came out, me and Mangachu were playing like all the time. Me and a bunch of TF2 players. But I played with Mangachu a ton. And you know how Mangachu was known for his Torbjorn?
Yeah.
You know, he played at World Cup and all these things. He was like he's a McGinnis one trick in this game. So
there are a lot of McGinnis one tricks. Even my buddy, who it's
there
like,
are lots.
He's like complete Mo one trick. The only other character that he plays is McGinnis. Like he has probably 1,100 games on Mo, and then the other 100 are on McGinnis. Like he's like, yeah, this is the only other one that I'll move to.
She is like pretty unique. Wall, I think, is one of the most versatile abilities in the game, and to me, that's the main draw of McGinnis. Like her other abilities are fine, but like to me, I'm fascinated by Wall.
Yeah, I mean, it absolutely. The turrets. I mean, honestly, McGinnis is fantastic hero.
I mean,
I feel like that's such a huge draw for all of these, all the heroes in the game. Is that number one? Like their character design's fantastic.
Yeah.
But like also like all their abilities, like they synergize together well. They go well. Like it's so satisfying when you're playing with your buddies. And like I think the first like 100, 200 hours with your friends is so great because you're learning all those combos and stuff like that, and what'll draw a ton of people to this game. But yeah,
I don't think anything is more addicting than the first couple 100 hours in Deadlock. Like it's just literally like you just can't put the game
it's
down.
so good.
You just can't put it down.
They were thinking about what they were doing when they were making it.
People really only started getting angry in the game when they started like putting in like a ton of hours. And to me, that's like the sign that I know that some people are a little bit jaded right now with Deadlock, of course, because we haven't had a major patch in since early May and stuff, and so people are kind of like in a little bit of a content drop for that. But people only really started becoming jaded with Deadlock after like they had over 1,000 or 2,000 hours.
Yeah.
Like personally, recently was like before like this recent patch that we got was like the first time I think in my Deadlock history that I was becoming a little bit jaded, where I was like, I was having less fun. I didn't feel motivated to play the game, all that stuff, and that took like over 2,500 hours.
Yeah, I'm not nearly at 2,500 hours, but yeah, the last patch I definitely hung a little bit. I played a little bit of extra RimWorld in the last patch. I'll say that. Yeah. But this new one, honestly, has gotten me back, or I shouldn't say like gotten me back into it because I've always been into it. But it's like this has gotten me excited when I come home from work to like actually play the game again. And like I don't know, I actually really do like. I really do like the rejuve. Like I think the respawning thing, like kind of how I mentioned, like the low level stuff. But I really enjoy that it's like you get that decision now between your team, and like people will certainly be toxic over it, but I don't think they should really balance things around whether or not people may or may not be toxic about something. And I think it's cool that you get that decision of like team play, or now that it's like, I think it sucks that you lose you can't steal it anymore. I thought that was like a really fun mechanic, but so I'm certainly a fan of the new rejuve. But I think this is probably where we want to wrap things up, because my 9-year-old laptop, I can see the battery is starting to run dry on that. That's guy. Fair. But one thing I do actually want to mention before we wrap things up here is if you guys would take a look at the tape stickers on your microphone. They're B, G, and Y. Yeah. Can anyone guess what that is?
Blue, gray, yellow.
Blue, green,
Broadway,
yellow,
Greenwich,
primary.
and York. Come on, guys. Come
I did
on.
at least get the
Okay.
colors right.
Well, I'm wearing a yellow T-shirt, so.
I'm wearing blue.
My
Where's your
bad.
green shirt?
This sucks. My bad. I shouldn't have mentioned this. But yeah, guys. Number one thing, check out Deathy's video on whenever
it
that
comes
does
out.
come out.
Yeah.
I honestly don't know when this is gonna come out, so it may be.
I don't know
out
when my
right
video
now.
is going to come out either, so.
It'll keep an eye out. So and then thank you so much, guys, for being a part of this. Thank you, Deathy. Thank you, Sorin, for giving us the lesson in show business that the show must go on. So
Show must go on. Very true.
Anything that either of you guys want to mention before we shut things down? Not that like there's anything that you have that everyone know, but
I've mentioned everything.
I'll
yeah.
just quickly shout out myself because you're giving me a platform to do so, and I'm going to take advantage
Yeah,
of
of
that.
course.
This has been like my breakout event. Like this is the first time I've done something more than just casting a Deadlock game, which I really appreciate the opportunity for. But like, just if you have any sort of casting work, I've been really enjoying it over the last 3 months. So feel free to hit me up on Discord, Sorin Markov,
Hell
and the DSE Discords and some other ones.
Yeah, he's been great to work with, so I fully endorse it. So yeah, if you guys need an endorsement for him, I mean, reach out to me. But yeah, I mean, both of these guys have been good to be with. So
it's been an awesome time, guys.
Yeah,
I am just so thrilled that like we actually got to like meet and just be a part of the community, and this is awesome. So guys, thank you so much, and we will talk to you. Peace.
peace out.